Okay then, so I just watched the latest episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, and in today's review I want to talk about two big things. One, of course, is the actual episode, and the other thing is some very interesting information that I learned about the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS series, which we might as well talk about right now, and that is the fact that it is going to end sooner than we thought. It's going to end in September, allegedly in 4 more episodes, so yeah, that's kind of surprising. It's a lot quicker than I thought it would be, and apparently there's going to be no more continuation to this story as well. And what do I think of that? How do I actually feel? I actually don't mind as much as some people would have thought, because I've enjoyed the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS series. I think it's been really good. I think it's one of my favourite series so far. I've really liked the characters of this show. With my only character I didn't really like, which I guess was Go Onizuka. I still like his character development. If the series ends after the battle with I, then I'm kind of okay with that. I feel like they've told the majority of the stories that they wanted to tell. My only problems that's going to come away from this is I'm going to make it... This is going to make me think that the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS has had the most sort of slimmed down story. Like, I don't feel like the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS narrative has really been that impactful in the stakes and things like that. I never at all felt like the world was in trouble because all the things that were happening in the virtual world. I never felt like the stakes were real in the real world. I always felt like people didn't really care, because you'd see loads of people just on their phones just like, oh, I guess I just can't log into VRAINS anytime soon. It just seemed like there was never really a problem. This is stuff I'll probably cover once the series is finished. I can really talk about it all. But I have enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. Despite that little fact, I've enjoyed it a lot. So if it does end, it ends, and I think that's fine. We're going to get a new series, apparently, of Yu-Gi-Oh! No details have been revealed about it or anything like that, so I'm kind of curious what they're going to do. I'm still hoping for the female character. I'd also be okay if they went back to, say, Duel Monsters. Maybe made a continuation after the Pharaoh leaves and you sort of follow Yugimoto and him sort of growing up and entering tournaments or anything like that. I would be alright with that. Don't think they're going to do that at all. I can't imagine them getting all the voice actors back for stuff like that. But that would be a good thing for them promotional-wise, because everyone would want to come back to watch a continuation of the Duel Monsters story. But yeah, that was my little thoughts. Apparently, we've got 4 more episodes left of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. I'd love to know what you all think of it ending so soon. Are you happy? Are you sad? Or just don't really mind? Let me know in the comment section below. But let's talk about this episode, shall we? So in this episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, it is Revolver versus Soulburner Part 2. We get a continuation of the duel. This duel was awesome. They put the extra effort in to the animation. It's very obvious. We've got Revolver getting blasted, having all his visor cracked and everything. We get Soulburner getting thrown around, all getting disheveled look. They make some really good plays in this episode. Revolver's basically trying to kill Violet Chimera, however Soulburner's just trying to keep it alive, and he is able to do that. However, Revolver's able to counter after that and bring Soulburner down. We see a point where Soulburner, I think, goes down to like, I think it's down to like 700 life points, or maybe just a little bit less. And he's kind of at his lowest point here because he's got no life points, more or less. He's got no cards on the field, no cards in his hand. He's kind of... He almost seems as if he's ready to give up. However, he gets some words of discouragement from Revolver, which are actually acting as encouragement as well, because it turns out Revolver kind of wants Soulburner to grow as an individual, because at one point in the duel, Soulburner starts to tell the story of how, basically, when the last incident happened, my parents went out looking for me. They kept searching and searching, and eventually they just searched so much they probably became complacent, and they were in a car accident, and they both died. And he thinks back to the last thing he said to them, which was probably something not very nice. It was something petty, I think he said. But the fact of the matter is, he will never ever get an opportunity again to apologise to his parents, because they're gone. But Revolver too has kind of suffered at the hands of the last incident. He lost his father basically over it, and he says that you need to look at things like they're not gone. They're still with you, it's just they're further ahead than you. So one day when you catch up to them, when you die too, you'll be able to speak to them again. And the way that Revolver says that he lives, he says he tries to live so that his parents would never be ashamed of the things he does, so that when he meets them, they'll be proud of him. And that's basically what he says he wants Soulburner to do. And he calls him out by saying that, I think at the moment you're living shamefully, and your parents would be disappointed in you. So this angers, of course, Soulburner, but Yusaku realizes straight away he's doing this in order to help Soulburner grow as an individual, which he does. Soulburner has a moment where he knows he needs to draw something really good. He thinks back to he sort of sees flame appear out of his duel disc and gives him a little bit of a word of encouragement, and it's quite a nice thing because Flame's skill was the ability to like draw a bunch of cards. It's like it was a skill draw kind of thing. I forgot what they called it now, but the card that Soulburner drew was called, was it Flame? What was it called? Burning Draw, which is essentially Flame's skill. So that was like a nice little moment. He was able to pick up 4 cards because his opponent had 4 link markers. He was able to absolutely go off, and he was able to defeat Revolver. And I like that Revolver didn't just go out, like he kept doing more plays, even though he wanted him to win. He was still going all out, and in the end, Soulburner the one, which was to win. And I thought it was quite surprising. I didn't think that Soulburner would win. But yeah, it was a nice moment for the 2 characters. Revolver congratulates Soulburner on his win, and we see that Revolver's mask like completely breaks off. So I wanted to actually see Revolver without his mask on. We might actually see it in the next episode because that's something we haven't seen too much of it. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. Just to see Revolver without his mask on. Another little complaint I had about the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS series is I always wanted Yusaku to get a new design for his Playmaker costume. I hoped that would happen in the little time skip bit we had between the seasons before, but that never did happen. So that's just one of the little things. Like Jaden got a change of uniform, Yugi got changes of uniforms. I guess Yuma didn't really, but I guess he could transform. Did Yusei get I guess Yusei didn't get different clothing. He did actually. Yusei got different clothing when he was in the that Grand Prix thing. I think that looked quite sick. Just a little thing anyway. I also like the fact that Soulburner acknowledges Revolver as probably one of the greatest duelists he's ever fought. I think he actually said he is the greatest duelist he's ever dueled against. So yeah, has Yusaku and Soulburner actually dueled together? Because that's quite interesting that he said that Revolver is the greatest as opposed to Playmaker. Because in the next episode, it's going to be Playmaker versus I. They're going to have a nice little heart-to-heart moment, I think, in the real world. When they go to the VRAINS world, they're going to duel. So, yeah, I think Playmaker might be the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist to have literally no losses whatsoever throughout the entire series. He's had draws, yes, and I guess in his little flashbacks of when he was a kid, he did lose against the little AI thing, but in the timeline of the main character, he hasn't. But then again, I guess Yusei never really lost, apart from that one against Jack Atlas in a flashback. And if you count the one against the Dark Side of Callan Kessler, but he fell off his thing, so it didn't really count. So it's a bit up in the air. But Playmaker might actually turn out to be one of the most powerful, consistent winners of all the series. So it's quite interesting. But yeah, guys, let me know what you thought of this episode in the comment section below. Overall, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was good. The animation was on point. The fact that we've only got 4 more episodes left, potentially. I'll have to pay really close attention to each one of these comments. So let me know what you thought, guys. What did you think of I in this episode as well? Because he was starting to question what happens to AIs later on. Will they be able to see the people they care about at the end of their life cycle? Possibly all the other AIs. Curious. Also, I don't know how they're going to wrap this up in 4 more episodes. I'm sure they can, but like, I don't feel like there was a greater narrative to this season of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. It's going to feel a little bit rushed. But yeah. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. Hope you like the lighting. Catch you later.